Zach Pakoff here, and welcome back to another lesson video. Today, I will be going over the 7-1 work together. So let's jump right into the video. Okay, so as I had stated before, I'm going to be going over the 7-1 work together. In the last video, I read over the 7-1 text. If you did miss that video for any reason, please click the link in the description. But anyway, today I will be going over the 7-1 work together, where we will be preparing an income statement. So the instructions say, a partial worksheet of Darlene's delivery service for the month ended July 31st of the current year is given in the working papers. Also given is a blank form for completing an income statement. Your instructor will guide you through the following example. Number 1, prepare an income statement for the month ended July 31st of the current year. Calculate and record the component percentages for total expenses and net income. Round percentage calculations to the nearest 0.1% or 1/10 of a percentage. Alright, so now that I've read over the instructions, let's jump right into the 7-1 work together.
Alrighty, so now we're going to be moving on to the 7-1 work together, in which we will be preparing an income statement. So the first thing that we're going to do is put in the name of the company, which is Darlene's Delivery Service. Next, we are going to put in the name of the financial statement, which is going to be an income statement. And then, after that, we are going to put in the date, and this is going to be for the month ended July 31st of the current year, which is 2021. The next thing that we're going to do is list the first account classification on our income statement, which is going to be revenue. So we're going to begin with a heading. This is going to say revenue, followed by a colon, and then we're going to list out the one and only revenue account, which is going to be sales, and then we're going to bring the amount over to the outer column. The next thing that we're going to do is move on to the next account classification for our income statement, which is going to be expenses. And we're going to, again, begin with a heading, and this heading is going to say expenses, followed by a colon, and then we're going to list out the different expenses. So the first expense is going to be advertising expense. The amount is $821. The next account is going to be insurance expense. The amount for that is going to be $300. After that, the next account is going to be miscellaneous expense. The amount for that is going to be $347. And finally, the last account is going to be supplies expense. And the amount for that is going to be $713. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is total all of our expenses. So we are going to draw a single line rule here, and then using the sum formula, we are going to total all of our expenses. So we're going to type in equals sum, and then select the advertising expense amount, drag it down to the supplies expense amount, and then press enter. And that will give us 2,181, and we're going to identify that as total expenses. The next thing that we're going to do is calculate and record the net income. So we are going to draw another single line rule here, and then to calculate the net income, we are going to take sales and subtract it from total expenses. So we're going to type in equals, take 5511, subtract it from 2,181, and that will give us our net income amount, which is 3,330. We're going to identify this as net income. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to draw a double line rule here. And a double line rule here means that the work is finished, that it's been checked for accuracy, and is considered complete. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is take a look at this new column called percentage of sales. And we are going to be finding what's called a component percentage. And we're going to be focusing on these three numbers right here: sales, total expenses, and net income. And the way that we calculate the percentage of sales is by taking each of these numbers and dividing it by sales. So if we take sales and divide it by itself, it's going to give us 100%. So the percentage of sales for sales is 100%. And the instructions are asking us to give one decimal place, since we are rounding to the nearest tenth, so this is going to be 100.0%. The next thing that we're going to do is calculate the percentage of sales for total expenses. And the way that we're going to do that is by taking total expenses and dividing it by sales. So if we take total expenses, which are 2,181, divided by 5511, that will give us this number. And if we move the decimal point 2 places to the right, that will give us 39.57. And since the 7 is bigger than the 5, that will round the 5 up to a 6, so it's going to be 39.6%. So the percentage of sales for total expenses is 39.6%. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do is figure out the percentage of sales for net income. And we're going to do the same thing with what we did with total expenses. We're going to take net income divided by sales, and that will give us the component percentage. So if we take 3,330 divided by 5511, that will give us this number. And if we move the decimal point 2 places to the right, that will give us 60.42. And since the number 2 is less than 5, we can just leave the number as it is, which is 60.4. So the percentage of sales for net income is 60.4%. And these two numbers, when added together, should equal 100. Okay, so that is the end of the 7-1 work together. In the next video, I will be going over the 7-2 text. Alright, thank you!